Hello everybody, my name is Armani Jackson. I am a current junior at Bowie State University. I am an intern at the Anne Arundel County Executive Office, and I'm also part of the Navigators of Worth and Wellness, which is the part of the Health Equity Subcommittee. And sitting right across from me is Miss Yolandi Dickerson, who I've known and loved for a very long time. She's watched me growing up as a little kid, and now I'm sitting right across from her and interviewing her. She's a part of the League of Women Voters. She's a part of the Delta Sigma Theta sorority, and she's a part of the National Coalition of 100 Black Women. So just to start off with a story about how we both had actually talked about voting in the past, and how when you were younger, around my age, you were very interested in voting. So could you start off a story for me?
Oh yes, I'll be glad to because this is something that's been on my mind for a long time. I don't think I will ever forget the experience that I had. I was approached by an elderly gentleman in my community, and he said, Yolanda, this is my first name, of course, would you help with the voting? We would love to have you help with the voting. I said, why, sure. What is it that you would like for me to do? He said, I would like for you to transport people to the polls. I said, well, okay, that would be fine, because, during that time, there wasn't transportation to the polls. There were polls that you can just run to and voting boxes to vote from or put your ballot in. And matter of fact, I voted today, so I feel really good about that. Wow. So from 8 o'clock that morning till 7 o'clock that night, I transported people back and forth to the polls. It was really great. Driving the car and listen to the people talk about the issues that they were concerned about, the issues that they want someone to look into. And that was safety, education, right, health, transportation, and even collecting trash in the community. That was very, very important to me. Right. And
that's something that I'm starting to learn about, just different issues that I'm interested in, and that compels me to vote. So when you hear the phrase, when we vote, we win, could you elaborate on that for me?
Oh yes, we all are winners when we vote, because we are taking part in the process that has given us freedom of choice in these United States to go out and vote for what we believe in. That is one of my primary concerns, that we all get together and think about what voting is all about, what the issues are all about, who are the campaigns, be a part of it. Get together with your groups in your homes. And I did that several times because they had the ballots. And a lot of people did not quite understand what the ballots were. And you out there will learn that too. So we got together and we discussed that. You can discuss it amongst friends. You do not have to be alone. Your vote is your power, it's your voice. So when you vote, you win.
Right. And would you say it's very important that all ages make sure that they vote?
Yes, you're never too young to learn what is going on around you. You can start voting you can register to vote at 16, and you start voting at 18. But it affords us, you read the paper, you look at the TV, there are things that come up.
We got social media now.
Yes, there are things that may come up that pique your interest.
Right.
So you find out about that, write it down, and be a informed citizen as a young person. You can be an informed citizen to know all the rules and processes of what is going on.
Right. So if there was a person out there that said that they were not going to vote, what would you say to convince them to vote?
Well, one thing, I would say your voices can be heard. Everyone will listen to you. You have the right to be able to get up and say whatever you want. This is a free country, it's a free society. So you may come up with a question or issue that no one has thought about. Have you thought about that?
Yeah.
Yes.
I have. I'm into political science.
Yes, so what you do, you bring that up to where it is. There are candidates that you might want to talk to. Don't be afraid, because they're being elected because of you, because of your vote. You be like, don't be afraid to bring your issue. Go knock on the door, call them on the phone. Go down to the Gentleman's Center, let them know that you are the person who you want to be recognized as far as voting. Let them know their voice. Your voice is your power. Your power is your vote. Remember that.
I agree.
No one can take that from you. Be cognizant of what is around you. And believe me, the elected officials knows what's going on. They know the ages in the community. They know what is happening in the community. So if you have a voice, if you don't have a voice, you may not get the attention. But when you do have a voice, you'll get attention in your community and for yourself and to your school.
Right.
Let them know who you are.
So also, for somebody who is like, you know, this is their first time voting, what advice would you give them?
Well, one thing I would say, I know voting is overwhelming, you know, and we all want to do it.
It was for me my first time.
And I know the very first time I went to some of the high school, did voter registration. And I would see the students in the hall. I said, would you like to register to vote? Well, someone would say, well, what is that? I say, come to the table, I'll tell you. It's a time that your voices can be heard, but you must be educated. You want to be informed. You need to read the papers. You need to look at the media. You find out who the candidates are running. And by the way, I think that should be a program that starts in the school.
It should. It should.
We have not had that. When I was young, of course, we had U.S. government. Now today, they can put that in a sociology class or a history part, a component of the history class in government.
Voter training.
Because the more you learn, the more you know. When you don't have to always wait until you go to college to learn this. It could be put in the school. And that's something, you know what, Amani? That's something we can look into.
Definitely.
They had that, but make them feel comfortable about voting. Let them know that voting belongs to them.
Right. Is there any like websites that we can go to, like go right on the internet, search it up, and you know learn how to vote? Definitely.
You can go and say go vote. Something will pop up. You can go to the election headquarters. They have a lovely, when I say lovely because I'm just so into the voting, and they can research. Research any information you want. You can Google anything today to learn. It may not always be accurate, but if you look at enough information or research, you will find your answer to that question.
Well, I want to thank you for your time, for just explaining to us the importance of voting. So with that, we conclude our interview.